Okay, so what we're going to look at in this chapter is, so this is Algebra 2, Inequalities and Algebraic Fractions. So the first thing I want to do is just look at some of the kind of number systems that we deal with. So the first type of numbers that we deal with or we work with are what are called natural numbers. So natural numbers are counting numbers, and they start at 1, and they're represented, the set of these numbers is represented by the letter n. So they're really counting numbers. So if you count anything, you're going to use like natural numbers. It's going to end up as a natural number. So just some examples. So if we take, for example, n, so n is equal to, so this group which we donate or we represent with a capital N is equal to the natural numbers 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and so on and so forth, and that goes all the way up to infinity. Okay, so they are the natural numbers. So, and we can represent this on, we can plot this on a number line as well, like so. We can draw a number line, something like this, and we can just represent, so we can just literally put dots on the number line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each dot represents one of these natural numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth, and it continues on in this direction. And you'll notice that it's going from left to right, and it's moving in this direction. Hence the arrow here. And this arrow indicates that it goes on indefinitely in this direction. So it just continues going on in this direction. The next kind of number system that we deal with in junior cert maths are what are called integers. Okay, so integers, and they are represented by the letter Z. Okay, so they have a letter that represents them, and it's the letter Z. So for example, a set of integers could be something that looks like this. So -3, -2, -1. Then we have 0, 1, 2, 3. So what we notice with integers, so they include the natural numbers, but they also include 0, and they also include these negative numbers as well. So basically integers, they're whole numbers, and they may be positive or negative. So they may be positive or negative. So again, these guys here are positive, and these guys here, the other side of the 0, are negative. And again, we can represent these on a number line. So we can, let's say, so start in the middle. So this, that's it. So this is 0. And we move in this direction. And then we also go in this direction. So again, we can just represent each of the dots. So the middle is, this one's going to be 0. So you have 1, 2, 3. And then on the other side, -1, -2, -3. So this will be 0, and then this is 1, 2, 3, and then this is -1, -2, -3. So what we have here, we have the number line. So on the left hand side you have the positive integers. On the right hand side of the 0, or sorry, the left hand side of the 0 you have the negative integers. On the right hand side you have the positive integers. And then the next type of numbers then that we have, so this is, let's say this is 1, 2, and then 3. So the next type of numbers we have then are what are called real numbers. So real numbers. And they get So a capital or is the number that's used to represent real numbers. Like they incorporate every number that can be on the number line. So they're going to include natural numbers, they're going to include integers, and then they'll also include other numbers such as, for example, square root of 5, square root of 7. Okay, so these will be real numbers. If we think about the number pi, okay, so pi is equal to 3.14, and then it's just a repeating decimal that continues on and on and on, which is known as pi. You also have like fractions, for example, 1/2. Okay, these will be classified as real numbers. And then you also have like decimals as well, so 0.5, for example. So these are all classified as real numbers. Okay, so just to recap, so again, this is just the start of Algebra 2 Inequalities, the algebraic fractions. So just some of the numbers that we work with and that we will be working with in this chapter. So we have these things called natural numbers. So these are the counted numbers. They're represented by the letter n, and we can represent them on a number line like so. We have integers, okay, represented by the letter Z, capital Z. So again, integers are positive and negative whole numbers, including 0. And again, we can represent them on a number line, like so. And then we have real numbers, and real numbers really, the set of real numbers, they include natural numbers and integers, and then they also include other numbers such as square roots, for example, this number pi, fractions and decimals as well. So essentially they cover all of these type of numbers. They are included in this. Okay, so that's just an introduction to the types of number systems that we work with when we're dealing with inequalities and algebraic fractions.